Here's Cameron Smith with the first boot of the ball. It's long, and it's going to be caught under some confusion by Shaun Johnson. There was a potential there for a mistake right at the start, but New Zealand hang on.
And it's all on, and what a haka. You have to say that the Kiwis have to compose themselves. You see the clear emotional involvement that they have in that, but it's important that they get their heads on the game now and go through the process that's been so successful in this tournament.
And Ian Millward, we talk about the conditions here a little earlier when we're doing the coaching interviews. I think the wind was a little stronger. It's died down a little, but that high kick could be a factor here tonight.
Shaun's the halfback for New Zealand. He's been a revelation, he has, with his kicks in the air. He spiral bombs, scores nothing but problems. We've got two debutants in Masur and also Sione Utai. And this is going to be a real test for them in this tournament.
That's great quick pressure there from Cooper Cronk on Shaun Johnson. They clearly got the mission to disrupt his kick. I think it took England a while last week to get into that mould of disrupting his kick.
Australia had a nosebleed in that first game against the Kiwis, but they're looking to hit back with a counter punch here tonight as Cherry Evans takes on that line. He, of course, remember, was injured in that first game, and that was a major factor in the Australians failing to produce in the second half. Taken close to the line by Papali. 3 tackles to come here. Here's Cameron Smith at dummy half, looking to that left. Parker with the offload. Smith now looking to create the numbers with a kick to the corner. It's bounced away. An opportunity for Mansour.
He's a smart player, that Smith. He'll manufacture something there. We're looking dangerous, and they closed it down to the Kiwis, but they look vulnerable. Cherry Evans taking on the line in that first set of 6 is an encouraging sign for me. First and foremost, your hearts have to be a running threat.
Well, obviously it's got to be a positive start by Australia, because the New Zealand strengths in their go forward, and they're coming out of their half.
This is Foran, tough customer.
But you know it's going to come at the end of this. The Shaun Johnson spiral bomb over to Nightingale on his right-hand side.
Issac Luke, dummy half. We've seen a little bit of a gap there. He puts a little chip over the top. Asking a question here, and Mansour is back in the in-goal area. He's going to get out there, is he? Yes, he is. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Just. Only just.
That's a fair play from Mansour. Good defence from New Zealand, because he was testing purposes down the track there, and they got to him. Not sure it was a great kick. Manufactured kick from Luke. But a good result for them. They can defend well here, the Kiwis.
It's a penalty, and that's a lead for Australia. Dylan Walker. Referee deciding the Kiwis were all over him. Parker. Cherry Evans drops it back on the inside again, and Australia looking through Mansour, who's dealt with. Played quickly. Cameron Smith with a short pass, and Parker's close to the line. He's over, but I don't think he's going to get it down.
They look sharp, those is Cameron Smith probing, Cherry Evans throwing both sides of the ruck, injecting himself into the game. Good pass play. Great defence by the Kiwis in the end, because they were done for numbers.
Proctor taken on by Foran, who's almost found a way through. Not quite. Proctor. Johnson hangs it. A little bit of a chase going on here. Mannering's after it. Oh, it's got to the ground. Did anyone get a touch on the way through? Yes, an Australian hand, the referee decides. It's a dropout underneath the sticks.
Well, they deserved that. They created a set there where they decided to offload on the Australian. 2 or 3 offloads in that sequence of play, but it real difficult for the green and golds, and then they finished off with a competitive, challenging kick that they had to bat out. I think you'll find that it's Walker that bats it out. Well, it hits the back of Issac Luke.
20.
Well, the video refs are already in action here. They are having a chat with Phil Bentham, and the decision is reversed. Here's Aaron Woods.
2 now.
Carrying 3 Kiwis at the last couple of yards. Smith again at dummy half. Here's Corey Parker running the line at back. Smith's had a good look round here, right and left. Cherry Evans. Little dummy in the gap created by that, and off he goes, and still going. Daly Cherry Evans trying to bat them off. Eventually they round him up and put him down. But he showed his danger. Smith dummying to a couple. Out it goes to this right-hand side, and Walker Final tackle coming here. Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk. There are plenty of Kiwis back there to provide the cover, but the catch is not a good one, and I think it's going to be turned into a try here by Parker, was it, who's down in amongst all of that. In fact, no, it's not. It's Michael Jennings. Well, the Kiwis had that covered.
Well, the referee's worried here because he keeps saying, I've heard an offside call, heard an offside. Now, he's gone try. I think it's a fair try. It bounces off New Zealand straight into Australian arm. He kept saying, is there a call of offside? Now, this will tell us straight away.
On restarts, that's a process.
Now, Aaron Woods is in closest to him, but he doesn't. He's 10 metres away. I feel those players are onside. What do you think, Brian? I think it's a fair try.
Yeah, I think it's a fair try, certainly if the catch is clean and the put-down's clean, but I think indicative of that was the way that Cherry Evans said, well, that's off the Kiwis, so if they're onside, that's a fair try if he gets it down.
Well, it's going to be a try.
Yeah.
So all eyes on the big screen here. I think they might be having one or two technical problems here because they've not gone to the screen, and in the end, Phil Bentham just points the finger and says, I'll just give it. So it is a try. We've not quite had the flourish on the big screen that we'd expect, but the try is confirmed, and Australia lead by 4 points to 0. Cameron Smith keeping a cool head and sending that ball goalwards inside the far post, and Australia lead here by 6 points to 0 with very nearly 12 minutes played.
Do you know one of the biggest things I've noticed here early? I know they go the kicking on the last, but Australia are a lot prepared to move the ball a little bit wider of the ruck. It's something over the years Cameron Smith's dominated the ruck area by going forward. There's a lot of movement wider, and there's a lot of movement to the halves earlier to get to the edges.
Cherry Evans across the face of that New Zealand line, and out it goes towards Jennings, and he's got it away, and Australia away. Mansour with the ankle tap by Nightingale. Otherwise, he's flying into the corner. What an important tackle that might prove to be, but Australia still rolling on. Smith puts it back. Here comes Corey Parker to straighten things up again and thinks about the offload, but he's dragged down by Taumalolo. Two big men together wearing 13. Cameron Smith, Cherry Evans, trying to create the numbers out there. Bird trying to force his way in. Quick play the ball. New Zealand quick to the response in defence as well. And Cherry Evans was thinking about the try there. The kick has gone to Foran, and Foran has a chance to run it away. And New Zealand survive, and a little bit of flourish on the back of it as well. And a penalty.
Real early this game is on. Australia looking threatening, pushing between holes, finding offloads and troubling the keeper. What about the ankle tap by Nightingale as he goes? Jennings gets him away, Mansour, and geez, it's got to be a try, and ankle tap.
Wow, it is a true ankle tap. He's not going for the tackle, he's going for the true ankle tap.
The chase from Australia is fantastic, not least by Clemmer.
That was a bell ringer from Clemmer. Ding dong.
That's and another one from Thaiday. Get that in your ribs. Nightingale.
Oh, the swapping blow for blow here. Oh, the really vigorous set from the Kiwis, but the Aussies are replying with some.
Well, another one. That's bodies flying all over the place. Walker's put on his back.
This is a proper game.
Quick play the ball. There's a bit of a gap here, maybe, for Kenny-Dowall to make the break. Kenny-Dowall gets it on now. Australia flooding back in defence, but look where they are. New Zealand only 10 away, just over. But this is the sixth tackle. Johnson looks out wide, and it goes Foran with a pass, and Nightingale will dive into the corner. His fifth of the tournament. New Zealand get the response they needed. 84 metres in 6 brutal, bruising tackles. But at the end of it all, a Kiwi score.
Kenny-Dowall gets up the middle because of clock off from Cronk and from Smith. Who would have thought they'd have clocked off? He makes the meters, they compose themselves, the Kiwis, they line themselves up on the right-hand side. And it's just a question of getting it through to the right hands at the right time. And Whare finds Nightingale, and he won't miss from there. Well played, New Zealand.
Yeah, this is the key, but Brian, after the break, if you're a Kiwi fan, you want the ball to be in Johnson's hands. He makes the right decision. He makes sure he has the numbers, and he gets it in the hands, and the perfect pass. And Nightingale from St George Illawarra, and he loves scoring tries acrobatic-wise. He won't just put it down conventional. He's great at that.
Johnson from the touchline. Has he made it all square? You bet he has. The flames go up on the sidelines to signal the kick's gone over. And we're back level again, 6 points apiece. Here's the skipper Mannering, who's making inroads down the middle again here. Issac Luke, Johnson. This is higher. This is higher. Mansour's underneath it. He's worried. He's lost it, and he bats it back. But you could almost feel the pants of fear from 80 yards away from Josh Mansour, who knew that was coming down with a spin and a spiral.
And that's my point with his kicks. Don't worry about trying to get Inglis out of that corner. Get it up as high as you can, and when it moves, it's up to the Australian backfield to deliver the goods and deal with it. He doesn't deal with this. I can't tell you how difficult that is to deal with. That is difficult to deal with.
Johnson. Soft hands. Bromwich. Here comes Luke. Back on the inside again. This is Taumalolo, and he's got it offloaded to the man in the middle, Kieran Foran, who's almost threaded his way through all those bodies.
Here we go, Brian. 6 all, 13 minutes to go. Kick or tap. Run the ball or kick the goal.
Run the ball. They're on the rack here. I think the Aussies, they're making progress in and around the ruck. They find a bit of composure here. They'll get over New Zealand.
I would have took the tap.
Yeah,
I would have kept the pressure on.
I think they were creaking there a little bit, the Aussies.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing as a creaking green and gold jumper.
Johnson, in the circumstances, a relatively simple kick. And New Zealand, who had trailed up to the midway point of this first half, now lead by 8 points to 6. Tohu Harris running hard. But they've got position here, 25 metres out, 4 tackles to come. New Zealand leading by 2 points. And a big hit by Corey Parker on Martin Taupo, but he's still kept it alive. New Zealand looking for a little creativity here, a little bit of magic with the boot from Johnson, not with that pass. Mannering just bats it on. They have to make it up. Foran with not a bad kick in the end, in fact a terrific kick in the end. They were making it up, but they have forced Australia into another set of 6 here. A drop out
Not a bad make-up play, was it? They're not only big and powerful, they've got great footwork. Here we see the Foran kick the manufacturers for himself, but it's a pretty impressive kick in the end, and Inglis cleans it up out of the backfield.
So Martin Taupo, the wrecking ball is taking it back. Who dares stop him? Eventually, one of the little fellas, Cronk, you can't run without your legs. And that's where he grabbed him. Now Harris will have a go.
Well, it's just relentless. Taupo, Harris, Blair, they've just got such good size as well. Here comes Eastwood.
Here's Eastwood. Barney Rubble's having a go. And they're pushing close to that Australian line again. Look to Foran and out to Mannering. Foran's gone left again, but they're going right. It's not the best play, the balls, but Taupo has made it something better than it should have been. And Issac Luke is battling to keep it alive, but Cameron Smith remaining all over him. Last tackle. Johnson steps again. Johnson still going, weaving and dodging, and then the pass to Fatamai, and Fatamai reaches into the corner for a try of sheer magic. Make that compulsive viewing for years to come if it's given. Johnson spinning and weaving, and then at the last with a pass to Fatamai. And if he's finished this, boy oh boy, is that a score worth celebrating.
Look at this. These players, to be able to do this to elite players, right foot step continually, spin and turn. They know he's going to kick, but they've got to shut him down. Now, oh, that is over 20 metres. And the pickup, the one-handed volley pickup. Look, it's hard to see if he's got it down here, but I've got to say, everything points to a try, everything in the air, and that's a try.
Try is given, and 30,000 Kiwi voices filling the Wellington night air. Johnson to give New Zealand a 2-score lead if he puts this over. Was there ever any doubt that he would put that over? The mood is in tonight. 3 kicks out of 3. to add to Batavai's try, and 14 points to 6. Australia have to score twice to get their noses ahead. New Zealand looking wide. Hiku held up.
They've been really smart, the Kiwis. They've stayed at the middle when they think they've got an opportunity, and then they've gone to Foran on this left side to try and get at Cronk, so that Cherry Evans on the other side when Johnson gets to the space.
Here he goes again, Johnson, and a little chip over the top, and Cooper Cronk put the shoulder in, but it doesn't stop. Kieran Foran picking up the pass, turning it inside for Eastwood. Eastwood looks again, and there's still support, and it's going to be Lewis Brown, who tries to flick ball away. Play on, the referee says. Australia have it, and they don't know how, but they have it, and they're just relieved they have it.
Okay.
I didn't know how it.
Shortened.
I just thought he was in. Those made-up last players are working quite well for Shaun Johnson.
Yeah. Well, you just seen Inglis drop back really deep. You've seen the space between the defensive line and Inglis. He chipped. I've got to give credit to Australia there. Desperation was just as high as the Kiwis wanted to attack desperate on the last tackle.
To there! Move, Josh! Hold left, hold! Goal 2, thank you.
Can they find a way through again? Torpa bowls it back. Eastwood picks it up. Has a run. Woods is there to help pull him down. Jackson round the hips. This will be the last play as the hooter sounds. Foran with a little kick towards that Australian line. Inglis picks it up. There's always danger when Inglis picks it up, but not when three very eager Kiwis are quickly around him to make the tackle. It's a test match. Well, a high tackle here has given Australia a penalty at the end, towards the end of their set, so they'll start the next just inside New Zealand's half. Be a rare night tonight, New Zealand winning a final in New Zealand. They tend to do that on foreign soil in Australia, don't they?
I think the key for Australia is what Tim Sheens has said at half-time, because they need to adjust the way they're playing to sort of utilise their strengths and take away some of the weaknesses, like kicking behind Manu Batavai earlier, big tall winger, moving the ball a little bit, players coming against the grain, coming at different angles. They've got to change it up, Australia, if they want to change the result.
But we do know the blink of an eye and everything could change. Here's Cooper Cronk, who's capable of that, and Daly Cherry Evans with a little saunter to his right, and that blink of the eyes just happened. Australia are back in it. Sione Mata'utia scores. The referee is not mindful to give it just yet.
He's got a try.
He's given it as a try as long as there's no obstruction here.
Well, there's a lead player. The ball player sends a player through, but he brings a player behind him. They thought it was going to go to the outside player. Obviously, now you've got to see where the lead runner, the player that doesn't get the ball, does he impede the defender? There's nothing wrong there. This is a true try. Kenny-Dowall comes out of the line. He needed to stay with his inside defender. Of course, he comes up. He opens up the hole, and Dale Terry will take it. Because he did it early in the game. They didn't get rewards. This time they do.
So we're expecting try here. And try confirmed. And Australia land a blow right at the start of this second half. Dangerous to count them out. And they have just proven why. Back within 4, back within eyesight of New Zealand's lead. With a kick to come here. So Cameron Smith to reduce the gap to just 2 again. Whether in the colours of Melbourne, Queensland or Australia. Smith from the touchline. The kicking tonight has been good so far, and it remains excellent. 14 points to New Zealand, 12 now to Australia.
Square! Goal 2.
Lewis Brown again.
I think the forwards union, there was a time when there's some offloads from the Kiwis again and trying to make progression that way again, as they did in the first half. There'll be a time when they'll be ridiculed. What, wingers in and around the middle? I think they'll be giving them a free passport. You can come when you want, Manu.
Taumalolo. 4 tackles gone. New Zealand creeping their way inside Australia's half. Johnson to Harris. Another Proctor, wasn't it? Kevin Proctor, the other of the Hare bunch, who's tackled 30 metres away on the 5th tackle here. Down the blind side, Johnson with a kick back to the middle. Not too many chasing Kiwis there, but the post very, very nearly made it an impossible catch there. It's well taken in the end.
Jennings, wasn't it?
Oh, there's a knock-on, was there? There was a fumble at the play the ball. There was about 30,000 Kiwi voices who called for that. There's the little push from Cronk.
Well, it's Cronk who's knocked it on the play. The ball's clean. It's Cronk.
Second rolls, loose forward binding. Get in there.
Down they pack. Lewis Brown barking out instructions from the back of the scrum before he puts his head in. Now it comes. Throws it to that left-hand side. It's going to be Kenny-Dowall who'll have the first go. Australia scrambling across to make the tackle. Peta by a dummy half. Hurls it back. Mannering has to go forward and straight and bowls it back with the offload. Johnson's not sure what he's going to do, but equally the Australian defence are not sure what he's going to do. And Johnson looking for the outside, looking for the miracle play, and this time not finding it. And Australia congratulate themselves because they've got away with a tackle.
For the Kiwis,
and they've got possession back again.
Simon Mannering lifting
just looking there straight away. Look, Mannering, another
Kiwis.
offload. He's continually doing it. Then all of a sudden, Johnson gets it. As a good half here, you want him to drop someone back off here. Then he spots the space. He backs himself with too much confidence and gets near the sideline. Massive turnaround here.
Natayutai. Slipping and sliding. New Zealand desperate to keep them here. Mannering's done a good job there for his team, the captain. Dragging him down, wasting another Australian tackle. This is thigh day. Smith. Jackson. Sixth tackle. So Smith out of dummy half will hack it downfield. Hiku catches on the full and off he comes now, quickly into his pace. Running to see if there's any weaknesses there, but finding only the unwelcoming arms of Dylan Walker, who makes the tackle. Who's going to break here? They're both testing each other physically down the middle. That period of the game that lacks a bit of flamboyance, but takes a lot of heart. Vatuvai charging in again. 23 minutes at least before we can crown the Four Nations winners here. And here's a little slip, and off he goes! Wonderful by Johnson again! Shaun Johnson! Wow, what a night he's having here in Wellington! He creates, but he also scores in a magical fashion. Shaun Johnson, give him the crown. What a footballer.
Magic Johnson. Don't mind Shaun Johnson. He's Magic Johnson. We said keep running. He's got to keep running. His teammates have defended the last three sets. Got him some field position. Plays out the back. 1-on-1. Wish on the outside. Shows his speed, and that's to beat Inglis as well, remember, in the process. What a score.
Oh, just the body's in motion. They're more worried about Proctor than Johnson, and what they don't want him running in their D-line, what his teammates want him to do is keep running, because when he runs, he creates doubt. And here we got again, Dale Cherry Evans, he pushes off very early, and Johnson sees it, and that's a skill in itself. Magic Johnson, here's the spark.
Shaun Johnson rocking backwards and then rolls it forward. Oh, he's hit the post. He's hit the post. And that might yet be a crucial moment, because 18 points to 12. First goal miss of the night, and arguably Johnson's easiest conversion attempt of the night.
Sometimes the hysterics, the emotion of what he's just performed skill-wise has overtaken him a little bit there. But
well, it's on nights like this that the stars come out to shine, and Johnson is glittering tonight. We've seen some wonderful performances down the years. Lockyer in 2006, wasn't it, crowning his memorable year. Thurston has bewitched and beguiled. Benji Marshall, as Ian was saying, all of them classy footballers. And Johnson is joining the ranks tonight with this performance.
Well, his mentor at the New Zealand Warriors is Stacey Jones. You think of Stacey Jones, Benji Marshall.
Here comes Adam Blair.
This set's reminiscent of what they were doing in the first half here, and this is what I'm talking about when they've had a little bit of ball.
He's off again, sixth tackle, but does he mind? He's only got one play left, pops it over the top. They're looking for a miraculous play here. That was a knock-on, surely. Nightingale. Well, there is the sublime, but there's also the ridiculous, and I think that was just edging towards the ridiculous. Oh, they've given a knock-on against Australia first. It is New Zealand's ball. So he's saying, here we go. New Zealand hand there, knock on, and then Nightingale hand, knock on.
Yeah.
Here's Foran with a feed. This now is Nightingale. 25 metres away. New Zealand edging closer. 19 minutes to go. They have the lead by 6, but not quite the comfort zone that would put Australia out of this. Australia are still very much in this. Johnson back on the inside. Blair. Issac look up at dummy half. Here's Kieran, Foran out to Hiku. Hiku to Vatovai! No stopping him! No stopping him! Wow! They put the bodies in the way. He simply run over the top. Manu Vatovai. That's why they call him the Beast. New Zealand are rolling it. Rolling it.
And here we go again. They get to the 4-man, which is the 4-pass defender, and the wide ball again. They knew if they could get to Natai, they could power over him. Foran, really great composure. Doesn't rush his way in the line. We talk about Hiku. He can hit Kenny-Dowall there, but no, he doesn't. He goes to the big man. He knows he's going to outpower the young kid. Gee, I love Foran here. Look at the way he just steadies, drags Cronk in, and then the wider ball gets a one-on-one. Covered defence, never going to stop that.
Well, Mata Utah's got a big lesson there. The old tanker got him, and he wasn't going to be stopped.
The delicacies of Johnson have been a delight to the eye tonight, but there was nothing delicate about that finish from Vatovai. Johnson's gone out wide again, and he's hit the post again. So 22 points to 12.
Well, the last team that hit the post twice didn't get to the final.
This is really unforeign territory for Australia now, isn't it?
Here's Bromwich. Possession last 5 minutes, New Zealand 74%. Swings and roundabouts. You just know you're going to get time with the ball at some stage in the game. Taumalolo. He's still looking for the offload. Vatovai's up there, hungry for work as well. Mannering takes the tackle on the halfway line. New Zealand and Vatovai. Wow, he's on his game tonight. He's got the appetite. Issac look. Spinning it back to the middle. Another big push, Taumalolo rather, with the offload, keeping alive. It's all bouncing the Kiwis' way. Australia being stretched to the limits here. Stretched almost to breaking point. Johnson with a dummy, and then the pass. It's taken on by Whare, who looks out wide and finds Nightingale. A crowd of Kangaroos are there, but Nightingale has the wherewithal to put that little kick to the in-goal area and force the restart from the dropper.
Smart work, Jason Nightingale. They're playing the offload game again now with the Kiwis, and the Australians are finding it hard to live with. If they do the same in this set, I'm worried for the Australians.
That's what Australia wanted up the other end of the park. They were in the same position. They had a winger in a centre, got the ball. This time it's a winger for New Zealand, and he just keeps his composure. Interesting now, Ben Hunt's coming on. Now, Tim Sheens has a theory when it gets tough around the middle, his little bit of his athleticism, his speed, his ducking, causes New Zealand some problems. He's got to go for the top shelf now, Tim.
Calls his little halfback the ace up the sleeve, doesn't he, Ben Hunt? And we've seen him have an impact in games in this tournament. But it's a big ask from here.
I'll tell you what, they need to hold him out here first before they worry about Ben Hunt.
Issac look from dummy half. Johnson shifting it on. Loving the ball in their hands at the moment, the Kiwis. Everyone wants a touch. Everyone wants a run. Confidence is sky high. This is Jesse Bromwich. 10 away. Issac look at dummy half. They're queuing up. Luke now spins it away. A quick rough off the line by Friday. Coming next to tackle though on Taumalolo. Luke, Blair, Bromwich. Australia not only struggling to hold on to him, but making sure he doesn't spin it away again. Such is the intent to keep this ball alive. Sixth tackle, Johnson dabs it to the in-goal area. Inglis watches, and in the end he has to pat it away because he could hear the hot breath of Tohu Harris breathing down his neck, knowing if he didn't deal with it, it was another try.
Smart play, good composed, pressure play from New Zealand. This is really testing Australia.
Johnson up, who's got the heart, Jennings. I think New Zealand are just happy to just play them down there here, aren't they?
Up now, Greg. Hold. Go on.
Make the Australians work hard.
2.
Well, that tells you, Tail. Evans, their 6 has run the ball out from off their line. There's no outside backs ringing it here, Brian.
Oh, here's Walker.
They've got to find some width, they've got to find some space, they've got to get their big go-to man, Greg Inglis, who has been anything but this game, into the game and find some space, but that's easier said than done against this really determined and vigorous physical team.
Cronk chipping over. Cherry Evans with a chase. What's the bounce like? Fortuitous, but Hiku had him lined up and hits him with a shoulder. Hunt. Cronk. Here's Walker. Off. He's got the ball away. And the pass back on the inside as well. The desperate pass. Then Hunt scores. Australia still have a sniff here. They went for bust. And they found the busted New Zealand defence. And Hunt, the impact man, has made his impact again here. Australia ain't out of it yet.
What about the flick pass from Walker? Wow. And he caught one for his troubles from Manu. But then there's a speculator as well from Utai. What a ball. And then Manu finishes him off. He certainly wasn't going to let him back up.
Cameron Smith kicks this, and a trainer goal could yet win it for Australia. From the sidelines, has he found it? Yes, he has. Cameron Smith, the ever reliable. And we just hark back to those 2 conversions that hit the post for New Zealand. They'd have been home and hosed now had they gone over.
They're going to go for it here, Australia. With a shift play.
Here comes Inglis running this time. Oh, it's Greg Inglis. Familiar fashion. One hand on the ball. Creating havoc with body in the other hand, but he's injured. He's hurt himself. Parker offloads. Clamour takes it in. Well read. Well held. Good push by the prop forward, who's 25 metres away and still getting closer. Still going. He wants to go another 5 yards. Referee says get back and play the ball. Bit further yet. Bit further yet, David. Now he can play it. Here's Hunt again. This is Cherry Evans. Up he goes. It's in the mix now. Hiku's underneath it. Nightingale's underneath it. Neither of them made a hold of it. The referee says penalty Australia. Penalty Australia with less than 90 seconds to play. And less than 5 metres to cover. Wow. Cameron Smith with a tap. Cooper Cronk. Here comes Papali. It's New Zealand's resolve that is being tested now. Cameron Smith, New Zealand are all offside. They came off very quickly then. Inglis wrapped around by defenders. 55 seconds to play. Here comes Smith, throwing it left. Clamour to Smith, to Cronk. Cronk on the outside had numbers. Walker comes back on the inside, keeps it alive, spun away to Parker. Parker now, it's Jennings. Jennings with a footwork against the towering Kiwi defence. This is Smith, quick hands, picked up. It's Matayuto, he's knocked on. He's knocked on in trying to pick it up. And New Zealand just survived. Listen to the roar. Listen to the roar. Has a knock-on ever been greeted by such celebration before? Kiwi goes a chant around the Westpac Stadium. They think they've won it now. New Zealand will just pick up, run and take the tackle. That's tackle 1. 7 seconds to go. Johnson has a look round. Now it's taken on by Brown. He takes the tackle. The siren sounds on a New Zealand victory.